Question number 2, I'm going to start with you, Diane. The school system consumes about 47% of the annual budget. How would you plan to keep costs down, stop administrative expansion, build a technical high school, and more closely align school employee benefits with the rest of the working world? I can repeat that if you either, okay.
I've long been a proponent for the adequate public facilities ordinance, and that guarantees that we will be funded as we grow. It makes us plan for the future, and for those areas that don't have the infrastructure and the facilities in place, we can't grow. But the people who are profiting from the growth have to pay into the funds to provide the expansion. The elected school board, I would like to see more of classroom representation on the school board to ensure that they are the ones that control the budget, that there would be more of the money going into the classroom and for the teachers. Less administration, hiring, more of that, more of the teachers being taken care of. And also, we've seen for so long the schools with the trailers. That was never the intention. That's not adequate facilities. We need to go back and make sure that we expand those schools and that the kids are learning in adequate facilities. Also, cutting spending is always a good place to, I think the schools can scrutinize their budget a little bit closer, and having televised even meetings for the school board and allowing the input from the public, we could better scrutinize the spending that's going on.
Okay, thank you. Carl?
I don't know what your 49% reflects, whether it's operation and capital budget or whether it includes a community college or not, so I'm not quite sure what that number represents. But in my 12 years as superintendent, the percentage of the Cecil County budget that was used on education went down 10%. That allowed the county to spend money on fire, safety, roads, and other things were of a priority. I was very proud of that. The thing, when people start talking about cutting education, they need to remember the federal and the state mandates that require us to do certain things in the public schools. And with that, so when you say we could cut spending, it's not nearly as simple as one might think. And the only way you know that is if you get in there and you roll up your sleeves and you try to do it. The Board of Education has done a wonderful job. One of the things you talked about in your question was the School of Technology. It is critical that the School of Technology be built. And it's not because we need a new building, it's because we need a new delivery system so that students can learn more in their career and technology program so that they're well prepared for the workforce needs when they graduate from high school, go on to college, or go right into workforce, or both. And with that, the current model does not permit them that opportunity. So it's not about building a School of Technology to have a new building. It's about providing a place where students can get their total education in one site so that they are better prepared, again, for the workforce with the knowledge and skills when they graduate from high school. I think what you do is the county commissioners need to work with the Board of Education to continue to look at how we can collaborate with our health service plans. How can we collaborate on energy usage? What are the ways that the county and the school system can both save money to reduce that burden on the taxpayer?
Thank you. Diane, would you like to respond?
Yes, I do. I had forgot to mention about the School of Technology, and yes, that is something that should be a top priority for us to put in. I do agree that we need to collaborate and to look for funding. I know that the Elkton High School in the renovations, there was a lot of talk of wasteful spending in that lost opportunity. We just need to make sure that we're being prudent in the way that the monies are being spent. And then from what I have seen, I thought the spending on the school board, on the schools were more 61% of the budget, and there was a history of administration hirings and the public information officer being hired, that was scrutinized very much, her being hired. Okay, again.
Carl, would you like to respond?
I'm very proud of the time I spent in the public school system. I came back to Cecil County after being away for 23 years because of how critical I felt it was for where I grew up, for the students to be well prepared. And with that, and when people start talking about what they heard, and people start throwing out numbers, when they do not have accurate numbers, is critically important for people who are considering how they're going to vote on November 2nd. Never was 61% ever. And with that, and the school system lowered its burden on the Cecil County taxpayer in the time that I was there. And that was done by design with the Oakley Sumter, with Nelson Boulder, with Bill Manlove, who were presidents at that time of the 3 school commissioner boards that I worked with, so that they did have flexible money to spend in other areas. Thank you.
Thank you. Carl, you'll start with the next question. Question number 3. Cecil County's latest recorded unemployment rate is 10.5%, almost 1% higher than a year ago. At the local level, what specific actions would you take to improve the economic situation in Cecil County? I'll repeat if either of you would like.
You okay?
Mm-hmm.
With it? Probably the biggest factor in raising that unemployment rate was the closing of Chrysler in Delaware. Probably had the biggest single impact. But Cecil County has always been above the rest of the state as far as unemployment is concerned. We need to invest in the infrastructure. We need to retain and grow our businesses. We need to recruit new businesses. That means jobs. So the first thing we have to do is we have to have places where people can go to work. The second thing we need to do is make sure that our workforce has the knowledge and skills to be able to fill those jobs. BRAC's a perfect example. So we need not only our K-12 children, but our community college and our adults to have access to retraining programs where they can renew their skills, learn new skills, so they are the first choice for companies who move into Cecil County. 44 companies have come into this area associated with the BRAC program. 44, either military or private contractors. All 44 reside in Hartford County. Not one business has been secured in this county. That cannot continue. We must recruit and we must be attractive for companies to come here. We need to have a workforce so that they can fill their workforce needs with Cecil County citizens. And with that way we'll lower the unemployment rate. But we got to build the jobs here, and we've got to bring the jobs here. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Diane?
I agree that we need to actively recruit the high-tech industries, the businesses that provide family-sustaining jobs. But one area that we're lacking in is that we're not supporting our local businesses. We're allowing too many businesses to come in, franchises, that don't really give us much in return and are stealing business from our local. One concern I did have was the slots facility, and if anybody goes and looks at the history of what a slots facility does to an area, it steals the business. And this money is going to go out of a lot of the money is going to go out of the area. Yes, we're getting some money, but our social costs are going to increase. The ways that we can support our local businesses is to continue supporting our agricultural industry, providing more value-added initiatives. Kilby Cream is a wonderful example of this. And when we're doing this, it's not only promoting local, and we don't have to go far to shop for our goods, and we have a healthy food source, but I lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. Also, we need to provide additional uses for the ag industry so that they can continue with the preservation of the open space and what it does, it also increases our quality of life. That's what I was trying to remember. Tourism is always a good place to invest as well. It typically brings in, for every dollar that you invest, $30 back, as well as sports tourism. And just need to follow good business practices.
Okay, Carl, would you like to respond?
It's a double-edged sword when you talk about bringing in franchises and you talk about it at the expense of local businesses. If you talk to the people in this room and constituents in Cecil County, they probably like the money that they save when they go to a large discount store. And with that, so it's a double-edged sword. People have to put food on the plate, clothes on their children's back, pay the mortgage, pay the rent. So being efficient with their dollars is an important factor. And with that, I do believe that if I'm fortunate enough to be elected, I think we need to review the current fees and tax structures we have on our businesses to make sure that they are appealing and attractive to businesses versus driving businesses away. And I do believe, in comparison to other jurisdictions, we have some opportunities there where we could lessen the burden on our local businesses.
Thank you. Diana, would you like to respond?
Our retail is changing. We know that more people are buying things online, and the malls that we've had in the past are not going to be as frequented. So it's an opportunity for us to promote as a county local. It's just another opportunity. And yes, I would re-look at the, we should make it, there should be incentives for our local businesses. And when the franchises do come in, there should be more of a restriction, or at least them paying for what they're getting and coming to do business in Cecil County. We shouldn't have two Walmarts within 10 miles of each other. Super Walmarts.